Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to get that wing, how to perfect that wing, how to do that eyeliner. So before you get started, I'm just gonna let you know some of the things you're gonna need to really get it really crisp. Obviously, as you can see, all my makeup is on except for my eyeliner, mascara, lips. I want to say that's all that's missing, but I have everything else on. So for this, you're going to need a liquid liner. Obviously, I'm going to be using the Farmasi one so you can see how it works in action. Yeah, also, if you really want to clean up those lines, you're going to need, I'm going to give you a couple different options. You're going to need a brush like this, either like this one, obviously there's product on it because I've used it, or like this one, depending on your preference. I find that beginners appreciate this one more, but you're going to need a brush like that that's really dense, that is really, you see how it is, really narrow, really skinny, because you're going to be using either of these to clean up those lines. So you're going to need that. You're going to need some concealer. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to use one of our new full coverage concealers, but you can use whatever you would like. And I think that's it. Oh, and like a little beauty blender, if you have it, just to afterwards, you see what I mean, just to blend it all out. So let's get this party started. I'm going to try to do this like this as much as possible. Usually I have a little magnifying glass with me because I can't see without my glasses. So the magnifying glass is really easy for me to go in and see what I'm doing. So let's get started. So if you're doing a line, if you're doing a wing, here's my suggestion for you. Go smaller and then work up to what you want. So start with a thinner line and then you can always work up to making it thicker. If you start too thick, then you're gonna have a hard time obviously bringing it back down because then it's already too thick. So start thin and then work your way up, all right? Now for me, I use my eyebrows, since I already have like nicely shaped and pretty full eyebrows, I use my eyebrows as my guide for where my line is gonna go. So I always try, you're gonna see what I mean, I always try for my, the tip of my eyeliner, the actual wing, to meet my eyebrows. Obviously not the full way, but to follow that general direction. And you can actually kind of see how I did that with my eyeshadow anyway. So that is the type of line we're gonna go. If you want your wings to go out more, then you're gonna have them go out more. But you see how your bottom lid and your top lid meet? You can actually use the bottom lid as your guide, because if you follow that natural progression, it's gonna go up anyways. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's go in first. This is how I do mine. I know people do it different. This is how I do mine because it helps me the most. So I'm going to do my first flick, all right? All right, so that's my first flick. Now, don't worry if it's messy. We can clean it up later. That's going to be my first flick. Now, if you notice, I kind of follow the natural progression of my bottom lid. And obviously, this one is a little bit off-centered, but that is all right. I try to follow as much of that as possible. Let's do the other side. Try to be like super precise with this so I don't have to clean it up later, but that's all right. All right, so now we have both of our lines. Now we're going to connect it to the middle of our eyelid. Let me just pull this out. It's easier when you have something to put your elbow on, just to give you a little bit more steadiness, especially if you have a shaky hand. Always try to put your elbow on something. So now we're going to try to connect. You're not going to go all the way out. You're going to go just a little bit before. You're going to take that and you're going to make a triangle connecting it to the center of your eye, all right? So just as I did right there. Now, obviously, there's a lot of spots we have to go in and clean up, but this is just to get your basic shape, because afterwards we can build on it and afterwards we can add in more. But it's literally just for the basic shape. All right, Now we're gonna fill it in, we're gonna clean it up. Now, if you have the time, take your time with this, all right? Don't rush through it. A lot of times that's where people make mistakes, is when they're rushing through it. So go little by little, especially as you're getting started. But you see the difference already? It almost like gives a nice little like slant to my eye. So just go in, clean it up as much as you can. The reason I tell you guys not to start when you're doing the first triangle, not to start all the way out here, is because when you do that, sometimes you can mess up the shape and you end up making this part too thick. So I say go a little bit before it to draw in your triangle, because then afterwards you can build up on that to really get that nice crisp triangle that you want. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. All right. Now, when you're doing your eyeliner, you're going to notice that I try to do this as much as possible. The reason that it is so that I'm not working with the wrinkles of my eyelids. So as you're doing it, try to keep your eyes as closed as you can, but also give you the ability to see. Because when you do that, you really can go in. A mistake that people make when they're putting the eyeliner is they do it like that. When you do it like that, do you see how my eyelids wrinkle up? When you do it like that, you have all the wrinkles in your eyelids. So when you're applying your eyeliner, it's going to fall into those ridges and it's going to get really, really messy really, really quick. So this is the basic eyeliner. Now, if I wanted to, I can go in more and I can color that part in. I'm not going to do that today because I just don't want them super, super, super thick. If you did want it thick, my suggestion, if you're coloring it in towards your inner corner, try to do it as much as possible from the inside of your lid, if that makes sense. That's called tight lining. You can do it with this, although it's probably easier to use. Let me see if I have it on hand to show you guys what it looks like. It's probably easier to use more of a gel type pencil. Let me see if I have one here so I can show you what I mean. I don't have it in the black, but I'm going to show you guys what I mean. It's better to use a gel type pencil like that type of style in whatever color you want to really go in the lid. Just a tight line. Again, if you want, it's not a requirement. The cool thing with eyeliner, especially if you're doing a wing, is you can do it however you please. You can make it bigger, you can make it longer, you can make it thicker, you can go crazy. So let's go back in and just clean everything up. Now, what I really, really like about this type of eyeliner, as you guys can see how the tip is, this is a felt tip, but it's not those super, super, super bendy ones, which I appreciate. It has more firmness to it. So what I do sometimes is I will go to where my eyelid connects with my eyelashes, and I kind of just stamp it on. Literally just like that. Because if you have a hard time with tight lining, that's a great way to really ensure that you're getting all those little crevices in. And same thing on this side. You know, and really play around with the pencil, guys. Like, do it this way, do it that way if you want, do it like that. Really play around to see what your preference is. Just because people do it this way, that may not mean that that's the best way for you. For you, it may be easy to go this way. So really play around with how how effective it is for you. Play around with what the best way is for you. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm just gonna do one final touch up on the wing itself. Just to do kind of like that little flick. Now the thing with, just checking to make sure it's even. I think this side goes out just a little bit more. Trying to go really, really lightweight with it. The thing with this eyeliner that I will say that I really appreciate is that it dries quickly. I don't like eyeliners that are super, super, super liquidy, because then you almost feel like you can't close your eyes because you're like, oh, it's gonna smudge, and you like literally just sit like this for like 15 minutes. This dries quickly, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Now we're gonna do that part that I mentioned with the concealer just to clean it up. So we're gonna go in with this, again, this type of brush. And did I put it away? Okay, let's use our concealer. So I'm gonna add a little bit of it to the brush itself. And I'm just gonna clean up the underside of that. And this is the tip that the pros do to really get those lines super, super, super sharp. And also, if you make a mistake, this is a great way to clean it up. Same thing on this side. All right, now sometimes if you take off too much, that's okay too, because you can just go back in and fix whatever needs to be fixed. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to wings. That's probably why it takes me so long. All right, that's all she wrote. That's it. That's it. Some setting spray and you're good to go. So that is how I do my wings. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to either message me, ask them below, and I'm more than happy to help. All right, bye.